Donald Cerrone faces Justin Gaethje this weekend at UFC Vancouver. Who's excited? I am. This is a battle camp. Please hit the subscribe button. You'll find it in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. I feel like this fight's flown under the radar a little bit, if I'm honest with you. And here's why, in my humble opinion. We had Khabib fighting Dustin Poirier over the weekend. We had the news break about Masvidal and Nate Diaz being made the main event at Madison Square Garden in November. We had all of the kind of news about Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman fight not being able to get made. We had the news that Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal apparently now are no longer friends. All of the news in MMA media over the first few days of this week has been consumed by everything other than this fucking fight card. And I'll tell you what, this is a very, very, very good fight card for a non-pay-per-view event, in my opinion. But just focusing on the main event itself, Justin Gaethje and Justin Gaethje and Donald Cerrone. What a fight. What a fight. You got these guys are basically the top contenders in the lightweight division for that BMF title that Nate Diaz and Masvidal are fighting for in November. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they actually made a BMF title in each division, these two cunts, or guys, sorry for my language, that was a bit aggressive. These two guys, they'd be up there. They'd be top 3 BMFs in my opinion. And the fight itself, man, like, there's a lot riding on this fight, in my opinion. It feels like both of them, they're both highly experienced guys. They're both very aggressive fighters. They're both fan-friendly. Their fighting styles they both have fan-friendly fighting styles. But I think, given what's happened over the last year or so, in terms of the fact that Conor McGregor was close to signing a fight with Justin Gaethje, and why do I keep calling him Dustin Poirier? Donald Cerrone was close to signing a fight with Conor McGregor. It feels like this fight is the red panty night fight for me, because the winner, in my opinion, it is my belief that the winner will go on to face Conor McGregor probably later this year. And aside from the kind of nugget of being able to fight Conor McGregor and earn a career high payday, it's a bit of I don't know, it feels like it's a bit of a crossroads fight for the loser, because both of these guys are obviously highly ranked lightweight fighters, and Donald Cerrone beat Ally Quinter. I think, was that his last fight? I should really check this before I say it is. Give me a second. Donald Cerrone's last win was, it was against Ally Quinter, and then obviously he lost to Tony Ferguson. And Justin Gaethje's last win was against, why do I not remember this off the top of my head? His last fight was against, obviously he beat the fuck out of Edson Barboza. How could you forget that first round finish? But yeah, anyway, so both of these guys, I'd say, are kind of in the piece of land between the guys that are at the top level of the lightweight division, the guys that are challenging for titles. So I'd put Ferguson in that area, Dustin Poirier, Khabib, obviously, and at this moment, Conor McGregor. But it depends on what happens when he comes back and how he looks in his return fight. But it's basically, for me, in the lightweight division, you got those 3 guys: Khabib, Ferguson, and Dustin Poirier. And then you got like Cerrone and Gaethje, and then you got the rest of them, you know, the Barbozas of this world, and Felder and people like that. Does that make sense? And I feel like the loser gets kind of relegated into the pool of fighters that I've just mentioned, the Barbozas of this world. And the winner gets the opportunity to fight Conor McGregor, who's in the upper tier of the lightweight division. I don't know if I've explained that very well, but that's the way I see it. Aside from these two guys fighting, and I'm not going to kind of break down the fight, because just watch Dan Hardy's breakdown, because that's what I did. If I try to break down the fight now, I will just be copying what Dan Hardy said. So, you know what I mean? Just get it straight from the horse's mouth, because he says it a lot better than me. He's a lot more eloquent, whatever the word is. He's a lot better at me than talking. So, yeah, watch what he said. But I'm gonna put my my bet slip on the screen now, and this is who I've backed for this fight. So I've put a £5 accumulator on, and I'm let me just get it up there. So I've got Smoker beating Ryan McDonald. I got Michel Pereira, the guy that does backflips and fucking acrobatic capoeira kind of kicks and shit like that. He beat the shit out of, was it Danny Roberts, the English guy? He beat the fuck out of him in his last fight, and I'm excited to watch him fight again. We got the return of Todd Duffy. Who remembers Todd Duffy? Like, he was literally 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. This guy was meant to be the next one. They were talking about him like, oh, it's only a matter of time until he becomes champion. And then I think he lost a fight in the UFC, and then he left the UFC. And I remember years ago, this was like at work. I remember being at work, and he was going to fight Alistair Overeem on a dream card in Japan. And I was at work. This was on not Boxing Day, Christmas Eve, I believe, or New Year's Eve. It was probably New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Eve, but because it was in Japan, I was at work at my desk, like pretending to work, and I found an illegal stream of this dream card, and I sat on my desk and I was watching it, and I had the Wikipedia page up as well, because to be honest, I wasn't familiar with a lot of these Japanese fighters in them days. I was quite young. And then, so I was going through the card, and I was like, all right, cool. Todd Duffy's fighting Alistair Overeem. And then that fight was going to be next. And then I watched the walkouts. I remember watching the walkouts, and just as they were, just as Alistair Overeem was going to make his walkout, I remember my manager at the time called me over to his desk, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I quickly ran over there, talking to him, and he's just talking to me for 5 minutes about something so shit. And then I remember coming back to my desk, and the fucking fight was over. I literally spent the whole day in the office waiting to watch that fight, and I missed it. And then I went to like rewind the stream, and it froze. And then that's it. I couldn't get it back again. But yeah, that's got nothing to do with this card. It's just a Todd Duffy memory. But he's back, and I've bet on him to win. And as you can see, I've backed Justin Gaethje. I just think, I don't know, man. I just feel like Donald Cerrone is a slow starter, as we know. Justin Gaethje isn't. I feel like whoever wins the leg kick battle here will have the upper hand, and I feel like I just have a feeling that Justin Gaethje will get it done. I don't know. I just feel like he'll have his head down. He'll plow forward, and I just feel like the fact that he's physically stronger than Cerrone will help him. However, it's not like a foregone conclusion. This is still a very, very difficult fight to call, and there's so many different ways, as Dan Hardy explained in his video, in which Donald Cerrone can win. And I feel like Donald Cerrone has started to fight a lot smarter recently, like he did with Al Iaquinta. Before, he was just bite down on his mouthpiece and just fucking go. Now he's a little bit more methodical in the way he approaches fights, and I feel like he's more tactical. And I feel like if he manages to stick to a game plan, it might be a very long night for Justin Gaethje. For me, this is a 50-50 fight. I've just bet on Justin Gaethje, and I've backed Glover Teixeira over Krylov. Actually, both of these guys had the same odds, so I just backed Glover Teixeira because I like him more, if I'm honest. There was no fight breakdown in my head. I just like Teixeira more, and yeah, so I'll put £5 there, and if I win, and if you've liked this video, I'll buy you a beer. How about that? Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this fight card. Let me know what you guys think about this fight itself, the Donald Cerrone and Justin Gaethje fight. Share your comments, share your thoughts on all of that stuff. Like the video if you want a beer when I win this bet. And if you haven't already, subscribe and share this with a friend if you've enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys after the fights.